Once upon a time, there was a young man named Ethan. Ethan was a daredevil, always seeking out new adventures and experiences. One day, Ethan went on a solo backpacking trip in the mountains. It was a beautiful day, and he was enjoying the scenery when he lost his footing and fell off a steep cliff. Ethan plummeted down the mountainside, tumbling and rolling until he landed in a crumpled heap at the bottom. He was badly injured, with broken bones and internal bleeding. Ethan was rushed to the hospital, where the doctors worked tirelessly to save his life. However, despite their best efforts, Ethan slipped into a coma. For days, Ethan lay in his hospital bed, his body still and unresponsive. But in his mind, he was in a different place entirely. He was in hell. Ethan had never believed in an afterlife, but here he was, trapped in a fiery pit of despair. The heat was unbearable, and the stench of sulfur and burning flesh made him wretch. Everywhere he looked, he saw demons tormenting souls with pitchforks and flames. At first, Ethan thought it was just a vivid nightmare, but the longer he stayed in hell, the more he realized it was real. He could feel the heat on his skin, the agony of the souls around him, and the despair in his own heart. Ethan tried to cry out for help, but his voice was silenced by the screams of the damned. He tried to move, but his body was paralyzed. He was trapped in this nightmare, unable to escape. As days turned into weeks, Ethan's mind began to fray. He couldn't tell if he was alive or dead, dreaming or awake. He lost all sense of time and space, trapped in this eternal torment. But then, one day, something changed. Ethan felt a light touch on his hand, and he heard a voice calling his name. At first, he thought it was just another demon come to torture him. But then he recognized the voice. It was his mother. Ethan's mother had been by his side since he fell into the coma, praying for his recovery. And somehow, her love and devotion had broken through the barriers of hell and reached him. With a burst of energy, Ethan broke free from the nightmare and woke up in his hospital bed. His mother was there, tears streaming down her face as she hugged him tight. Ethan was weak and frail, but he was alive, and he knew, with every fiber of his being, that he had been given a second chance at life. He would never forget the horrors of hell, but he would use them as a reminder to live his life to the fullest, to embrace every moment and never take anything for granted. From that day forward, Ethan lived his life with a newfound appreciation for the gift of life. He traveled the world, trying new things and experiencing everything he could. And he never forgot the lesson he learned in hell, that life is precious and every moment is a gift.